Hello everyone, watched NXT's pay-per-view last night. Roadblock, 5 matches were announced, only one title match. I'm slowly getting back in NXT. It's starting to slowly become the great way it was before this NXT 2.0 crap. But they still got to deal with that roster and the old roster. But finally, with Shawn Michaels as the general manager, he's doing the best he can. And week by week, you can start seeing the old NXT coming back, which I like. Um, Overall, 5 matches this pay-per-view. 2 matches weren't that impressive, but the other 3 were off the chain. You had Joe Gacy and his stable, which includes The Rock's daughter. Yes, folks, in case you didn't know this, The Rock's daughter has been signed to NXT. She hasn't wrestled yet. She's just been a part of Joe Gacy's stable. They took on Adrian Chase of Chase University and his stable. I'm not a big fan of either of these stables, by the way. I find them lackluster. Like, there's no excitement in them whatsoever. They just talk way too damn much. Well, Adrian Chase started doing the Randy Orton stomp. You know, folks, when you stomp on your arm, stomp on your leg, stomp on your ankle, stomp on your wrist, stomp on your head, stuff like that. Well, Adrian Chase does the exact same stomp, but he spells out Chase University letter by letter when he does it. Joe Gacy made him pay with a huge running knee to the face, followed up by one sick brainbuster. Then, outside the ring, member of Chase University started mouthing off to The Rock's daughter for no apparent reason whatsoever. And that allowed Joe Gacy just almost decapitate Adrian Chase, one hell of a clothesline from hell like JBL used to do for the 1-2-3. Then you had former tag team partners collided. Toxic Attraction. I was a huge fan of Toxic Attraction with Mandy Rose, JC, and Gingy. But when Mandy Rose got fired and released because of the nude photos she was posting on social media and WWE started asking her, like, don't post nude with the title belt and stuff like that, and she kept refusing to do it, so they released her. That and apparently something to do with for part of the contract, I don't know. So instead of keeping the other two for Toxic Attraction as a tag team, they decided to split them up, which I was still upset about. Great storytelling this match was because JC ended up becoming the heel and Gingy's the good one. All match, Gingy did not want to beat up her former partner. JC just had a way with her, running cannonball off the apron onto the floor, some swift kick strikes. One kick, like, you can hear the smack across the back of Gingy, but she had all off and kicked her in the back there. She delivered one wicked looking snap suplex. Gingy finally had enough. She started hitting some kick strikes. JC knocked her back down again, did a ground and pound attack on the outside. Gingy rolled her up when JC got back in the ring. Like, after she obviously ripped Gingy back in the ring, she clawed in. Gingy grabbed hold of her, pinned her for the 1-2-3. After the match, JC was upset and went to injure Gingy, but referees came out and stopped her from. She placed a steel chair like over her neck area there, and she was going to stomp on it, injure her neck and throat, but the referee stopped it. This match gotta happen again on NXT's WrestleMania pay-per-view, which is always stand and deliver. Those two in a rematch will be good to see. We had a jailhouse street fight. Now, I was curious, like, this is just a street fight, but it's not. It was an interesting stipulation. It was Dominic Dijakovic. I'm gonna call him Dijak from now on because that's his new name. Took on the Dawn of NXT, Tony D'Angelo, with top stacks at ringside. And the way this match was won was there was like a shark cage, I'm going to call it, outside the ring. You had to put your opponent in the cage, slam the door, and lock it to win the match. Great match to start off the pay-per-view. Hardcore style, folks. If you like weapons matches, you got to check this one out. Tony D'Angelo just creamed Dijak with a steel chair across the back. Deliver a front suplex off the top rope onto a stack of chairs. Dijak delivered high justice, sit down chokeslam on a steel chair. Then delivered a top rope elbow drop through a table on the outside. He delivered his finisher, which is a gorilla press slam into a knee to the face. He did that twice to the Dawn. Top stacks got involved. Dijak just kicked his ass outside the ring, tossed him into the barricade, stuff like that. Then he threw Tony into the cage. He went to lock it, and Top Stack stopped him. So Dijak pulled the Don out, started beating up on him. Then Top Stack applied a sleeper hold on Dijak, and Tony placed him in the cage. But Tony didn't want to have his second in command, he calls him, beaten up in the cage. So he pulled him out. Dijak almost won the match again with a second grill press slam to a knee to the face. But then again, Top Stacks got involved. He slid a crowbar to the Don. Then Don just smoked Dijak with the crowbar. Laid him into the cage, shut the door, and locked it. And the Don of NXT, Tony D'Angelo, won the match. Great match. 6-man tag. The Creed Brothers. I like the Creed Brothers. I like how they do the entrance. Like, one guy just normally walks up the steel steps in the ring, but the other brother on the opposite side of the ring deals like a gorilla, step up the steps, walk into the ring. That's cool. He rolls into it. Also, Braun Breaker teamed up with him to take on Jinder Mahal, Shinga, or it's hard to pronounce his name, and Veer Mahal. So I was wondering, whatever happened to Veer Mahal? Well, he's on NXT. This match was okay. Honestly, Jinder Mahal didn't do shit. He just stayed outside the ring all match. Basically, it was all Veer Mahal and the other guy against Braun Breaker and the Creed Brothers. This was a good match. Action-packed from the get-go. The Creed Brothers delivered double team moves to one of the guys. And Veer Mahal did have a huge jump-up takedown slam on one of the Creed Brothers. He beat the crap out of Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker got in, speared Jinder Mahal, who finally tagged in the match just to get speared. Then he speared Veer Mahal, and Veer Mahal just got right up from the spear. That was cool. The Creed Brothers ended up winning the match with a double team, electric chair drop, uppercut combo on the other guy of Jinder Mahal's team, the one that's hard to pronounce there. I'm sorry his name. For the 1-2-3. After the match, something exciting happened. Carmelo Hayes came out. I'm a huge fan of Carmelo Hayes. This is his first shot singles match action against Braun Breaker at NXT's WrestleMania pay-per-view Stand and Deliver. First time these two are going to go at it one-on-one for the NXT World Championship. I got my fingers crossed Carmelo Hayes wins it, or he gets called up to the main roster if he doesn't. Also, Grayson Waller wanted to face Shawn Michaels at the pay-per-view. But at the next pay-per-view there, Stand and Deliver. But Shawn Michaels, out of respect, like Ric Flair, remember when Shawn Michaels beat Ric Flair at WrestleMania, Ric Flair had to retire from wrestling, then he went to TNA, started wrestling. When Shawn Michaels lost to The Undertaker in a retirement match, Shawn Michaels has said multiple times, out of respect of The Undertaker and that, I'm going to honor that demand, that stipulation, and I have to stay retired. Grayson Waller has been pushing his buttons for weeks now on NXT, calling out Shawn Michaels' matches and stuff like that, saying, hey, how come I'm not in a match, stuff like this every week. Johnny Gargano is going to wrestle a Stand and Deliver for one night only against Grayson Waller. I apologize there. One-on-one. That should be a very good match because both guys are very good in the ring. Now, the main event. Roxanne Perez. Actually, sorry, before I get on to the main event, there was two former women wrestled. Toxic Attraction is no more, folks. Mandy Rose has been fired, released from the WWE because of the nude photos she's been posting online and other stuff and the comments she made. So they decided to break up JC and Gingy. I'm not happy about that. I'm a big fan of Gingy. She's super sexy looking, by the way. So they're not fighting each other. Perfect storytelling match. I enjoyed this match. This is the match I was looking forward to the most. Gingy all match did not want to face her former partner. While JC beat the crap out of her, like a ground and pound attack, cannonball off the ring apron, some swift kick strikes. She delivered one to the back of Gingy. You could hear just the smack across the back. Gingy finally had enough, started fighting back, delivered some kick strikes and punches. Then they started fighting outside the ring. JC rolled Gingy into the ring. As she climbed into the ring, Gingy grabbed her, rolled her over, and pinned her for the 1-2-3 for the win. After the match, JC, upset she lost, attacked Gingy with a steel chair, went to injure her with the chair. Referee stopped her, and then she went away. Hopefully these two have a rematch at Stand and Deliver or on NXT TV. That'd be cool. Weekly, maybe like next Tuesday. They might have a rematch. Who knows? Now, on the main event, Roxanne Perez defend her NXT Women's Championship second pay-per-view title defense against Miko Satomura. I guess you pronounce her name right. Apologize if I don't. She is no good, Miko. She's terrible. And this showed in the match. But every time there's an NXT Women's Champion, every time like a new champion's crowned, she always faces them as a test to prove themselves. Well, everybody beats her ass, so she's an easy test to do, right? To beat. She's been wrestling since 1999 on WCW Nitro. She's been wrestling since then. Honestly, she should hang up those boots. Because she is no good. I'm just saying. In my opinion, she's no good. She's too old for the ring, and it showed. Like, she struggled to get herself up at the top rope. She couldn't even do a sunset flip powerbomb. She slipped, and she tried to do it again. She kept losing her grip. She delivered the weakest looking kick strikes I ever saw, and she should not also do scissor kicks. You know, like the Booker T scissor kick? Well, she does that, but she tries to flip. Well, she did that twice last night at Roxanne, and both times she just landed on the back of Roxanne's head, and you could tell Roxanne was hurting because Miko was just doing it wrong. Roxanne got her butt kicked to make Miko look good. Roxanne did the best she could. Roxanne ended up winning the match to retain her title. Now, I don't know this storyline or not. I went online. They're not even saying nothing about it yet. After the match, Roxanne was celebrating, holding up her title, and then she just collapsed, folks. She fell down. She was non-responsive for a little bit. Referees, trainers rushed out. They quickly put her on a stretcher, took her to the back. Shawn Michaels was there. And she finally, as she was going up the ramp, you could see her eyes start moving and all that. And she was talking a little bit. But just the way she collapsed and everybody just went quiet and she was non-responsive, I honestly think she may have got injured with one of those two scissor kicks that Miko was doing. Because, like I said, she was just landing on the back of her head. With her leg and that. And just the way Roxanne just collapsed all of a sudden. And like I said, online, they're just not saying nothing. So it's hard to tell. Because I've seen injuries before, like when superstars pretend they got injured to continue the storyline. But just the way this one did, I honestly think she is injured. Because they're just keeping all hush-hush and quiet. So hopefully she doesn't have to vacate the title due to injury. That would be a total shame because I'm a big fan of Roxanne Perez. She's been trained by Booker T as one of her students in his school. She got signed to NXT. She's now the champion. And also, Shawn Michaels, one of his students he's trained at his wrestling school. Wes Lee is the North American champion. There you have it, folks. If you watched Roadblock, let me know below what matches you liked, what matches you didn't like, and what do you think of Roxanne Perez? Is this storyline or is this for real? Her injury. What happened to her? Stay safe, everybody. Too sweet. Bye.